Okay, so today, for all intents and purposes, this should be the finale episode, or maybe not. If it's not, I'd be fine with that, because that just means we go on a good streak with like one of the only two champions that we have left. I think they're both tanks. But basically, let's just recap on what the format actually was. This was like the second reintroduction of my permadeath multiplayer gauntlet kind of format. So I did it with Overwatch 2 earlier in the year. I used to do it obviously a lot back in the day with other stuff, but I did it with Overwatch 2 just to play Overwatch 2 for the first time, and that one didn't go so well, so I'm like, okay, let me do another one that's kind of similar. So I played Paladins for the first time. So this is not only a first playthrough, but it's also the permadeath gauntlet, where you play as every hero, and if you lose, you can't play as them anymore. So then when they're all out, the series is over. So on one hand, we did one thing that's positive with this, even if it's through cheesing the free ones every week, is that I managed to play every single champion in the game, or at least I will, because there's only like 2 left, and I had the tokens to be able to get them. So just between the ones that were free every week, because I only play like once a week and for a short amount of time, so there wasn't really much of a failure state, I kind of just put one that said retroactively, like, oh, I have to play at least like 2 games every time. So if I lose the first one, I at least have to play as a different champion. But that's not a very high standard either. So it's just like you're trying to get through them all, which we successfully did that. On the bad side, I didn't know going in that there were going to be free ones, obviously. But looking at it, most of them came from that, because it would have been basically impossible to do it, I guess, otherwise. Or you'd have to go like on crazy streaks and save up a lot of material. Like, it's also free to play. Like, you're not buying the heroes with real money or anything. So like, you would have to go on crazy streaks and save up enough to be able to buy them. So like, I had 3 champion tokens, so that allowed me to get a couple here, and I had like 60k gold, or I had more than that because I had bought one like before. But let's say I earned like 150k gold over the course of the entire run or something like that, which isn't that impressive, because that's in playing every single champion. So we haven't had too many good streaks, so that it's a little disappointing on that level. And you can always use the multiplayer element as an excuse, like, oh, your team's just really bad sometimes, so you can't possibly win. But I feel like you should be good enough to carry them that way, or you should at least be good enough not to get in the way and not so bad that you're causing the loss. So it's been kind of bad overall. So the whole point in why I did this was because I didn't like how Overwatch went. So now I'll have to do another one. I'll do like Smite or something after this, but it's not exactly the same thing. And what's funny is I even had to look up, like, what genre is Overwatch 2? Like, what is it exactly called? Because you can't call it a MOBA. So the best you can come up with is, like, hero shooter. You'd think there should be a better name for it than that. Like, this whole class of games. Team Fortress 2 clones. You're in Mexico. You're using random internet, so I don't know how long I'm going to be here. You could even disappear now. Well, that's okay. So, yeah, what else is there to review? I didn't use a lot of the mechanics. None of this is, like, really excuses. It's just saying what the format was. I didn't use the shop. I just auto-purchased the whole way, so I didn't want to get distracted or bogged down by that. And you might say, oh, that would have, obviously improved your performance. It couldn't have hurt, obviously, if you metagame the shop or something. But it felt kind of like, you're still here, lucky. He's not the only one cheating death. Or I'm not the only one cheating death, like in this series. But basically, I think my longest streak was maybe just like 4 or 5. I think I enjoy the healers probably the most, although it's peculiar that most of them don't have more than 1 healing ability. Normally, I would say tanks are my favorite than healers, but and performance-wise, I probably played better as healers and not so well as the other 3. Just because I'm such a willing healer that even if I'm, not doing any damage or not doing anything else, at least I'll be not the type to get distracted. I'll still just stay on the tank and tunnel vision. So that's at least one good way to, actually do your role. What else? So, like, I'll have 0 damage, but I'll have, like, 60,000, whatever. So I didn't use the shop manually. I didn't use, like, the perks or talent trees or anything. Just when you go in the game, I chose, like, the card, whatever, like, the spec that you're going in with out of the 3. But other than that, I didn't really look at anything like that. And so let's go ahead and see who we have left. It's like Inara, and see, even if another hero came out, I would still be able to get it because I have another champion token. So I had like 3 of those, which I forget how I even got, but clearly I got it just from the free-to-play general experience of doing this. So 3 champion tokens, which means you can get any one in the game. Then I had like whatever 60k gold I spent last time, but I probably spent some on someone else at another point, so it was at least probably 150. And then those things I also don't know how I got, which matches my cursor icon, whatever. The point is, it was a fun series. It's a good game, but it's actually a lot better than I would have thought. Because even if you want to say, oh, it's an Overwatch clone, at least it does a good job of that. Like, there's plenty of other games, I'm sure, like this that aren't as good. It's just weird that I never really heard that much about it. I think I only heard about it maybe a couple years ago, which made me think it almost came out only a couple years ago, like 2018 or something. But supposedly it came out the same year as Overwatch 1, which doesn't make sense. That how could they copy Overwatch so quickly if, you know, they both came out in 2016? They must have heard about the development of it. You know, obviously, like, they hear about Overwatch coming out, so they want to kind of capitalize on that. So they just make their own and wing it. But on that basis, it's pretty good. I wonder how many champions they really started with. Like, how many are actually in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, what, 56, like 60? Not actually that bad, but you can see based on the mastery level that our run is actually successful despite whatever. So what I would have to do in a series like this in the future, especially if it's like League or something where they give you the free ones every week, I would have to put some sort of rule that you have to at least like win a game every time, or you have to, you know, do something more, because it's not fair to just keep doing that, right? We managed to still check them all off, and I think I bought both of these anyway with the tokens. Or you know what I might have actually fucked up is, if they had introduced a new one, yeah, even that still says new, but it's not at all. This is like at the beginning of this format, like a couple months ago, several months ago, that he was the new champion. So in the entire time of playing this, like 6 months or whatever, they haven't added a single other new one. So I don't know how often they do that. But maybe I should do almost like a tier list of which ones I like the most. Although it wouldn't be fair until I do these two. Yeah, a lot of the tanks I haven't liked as much as you might think. And there's some weird, like if I rate just the overall, just my preference of playing stuff, I didn't like the flank at all because I don't really play them. Although I did like, who was it that I really liked in this one? I can't remember. But no, I don't really play it like a flank because, and what's funny is even the mastery levels don't really indicate like, oh, you must have gone on the best streak with him. But that's not true. Like Imma, I know that's not true because I only won like maybe 2 games as her, but I won like 4 as Willow. But somehow you got more mastery level because maybe you played better or something like that. So the mastery level is not an absolute indication of which your best streaks were. I could always go back and look, but I don't think one exceeded 4 or 5. So that's pretty bad because the whole fun of a format like this too is to say like, you go through every hero or whatever, every character in a game, and at least one of those is going to be like a 25 win streak. And that might seem crazy, but like 1 out of 60 characters, you should be able to pull together some crazy streak like that. Even if it's by dumb luck or you're just getting carried in some of the games, it's going to align like that. But it just didn't happen in this one. So, yeah, I like Flank the least because I don't really play it like Flank. I'll just play it like a damage character. And then even damage characters, I'll play more like a tank. I'll just go in there and face roll and try to, you know, whatever, just like deal with it. Not really evading damage, not really trying to go behind the enemy and play too strategically. But that works out pretty well still sometimes. And then healers, I'm at least a very willing healer. Tank, I kind of just, you know, embrace the face roll and just expect that I'm invincible, which sometimes you are. It's kind of a shame that the Fernando clown guy that I always make fun of just based on his appearance and stuff, his whole aesthetic is actually the #1 here. So based on this, okay, Imma I did like a lot, and I wish she lasted longer, just because I always love mages in games in general, so she gets kind of the whole Frostfire vibe. Everybody gets triggered by her ult, though. Skill-based ult, it's called, where you become the dragon and just fucking breathe on everybody. Yeah, her I actually don't mind being the top of this. Santi I don't remember too much. I didn't dislike her that much though, just to see like if this reflects my preferences. Koga was okay. Now isn't he the one? Yeah, he's actually pretty cool. You get to choose either the melee strike that does a lot or the spray, which I didn't really use the melee much at all. And then Maeve is fittingly the last one just because she's so annoying. She's just one of those irritating characters that, I don't know, like very contrived and too much shit going on. And then Fernando I didn't mind actually. Who was like a tank that I liked that just didn't last long enough? This guy was kind of cool because they're almost trying to combine like Bastion with somebody, like maybe Bastion plus d.va. The number of comparisons you'd make to Overwatch heroes is inexplicable here, but you can't do that in Overwatch like with TF2. Like, oh, every hero in Overwatch is based on a TF2 one. Like, remember the one that goes around with a hammer and a shield and fucking like Reinhardt and rams you down? Like, there's not enough characters in TF2 to really make that analogy. So then this one was who did I like here? I liked most of the healers just because I like healing overall, I guess, as a role in a way that most people don't, or maybe not as much as you'd think. But Yeah, if I had to rank, probably fourth would be flank, not even based on saying the characters are bad or something, but just like my preference. Then damage, then tank, then healer, at least in this game. Although normally tank would probably be number one. And in terms of performance, I don't even know. I think I probably still did the best as healers, even though this doesn't seem to reflect it. Just overall because, again, just by having somebody who's willing to do that is good. So it kind of rewards your tunnel vision, right? Like, if you tunnel vision as DPS or flank, you're going to get killed, and you're not going to take advantage of all your mobility and flanking abilities. If you tunnel vision as a tank, you'll probably still get killed because you're not sort of mitigating damage as much as you should. But then if you tunnel vision as a healer, it's actually kind of good because, yeah, you might still get killed, but you're going to at least do your role, which is something a lot of people don't do. Or yeah, let me just cobble together some sort of vague tier list. Like, what, okay, Omen was okay. Imani I liked a lot. Fernando I surprisingly liked, although his aesthetic is still very clown heavy. She was kind of fun. Like, I think she did some damage over time type stuff. You almost think of her as a healer, but she's not. Bomb King was the first one I played. Like, who are some that I really didn't like? She I liked. I love the way she looks, too, with the sword and everything. Koga's a cool dynamic. Tiberius I didn't like too much. He's like a Genji wannabe type dude. And then Vivian, I don't really even remember. It doesn't mean she's bad. Or no, that one I played pretty recently. I liked her. Her ult is pretty cool, like where she just kind of lasers in on where you're shooting already. Cassie, I think I liked a little bit. Just the base shot was pretty fun. I like these ones that do a high amount of damage, even if I'm also so bad at aiming that you would spray. See, that's why it's kind of cool too, because you can't really make an excuse that like, oh, you know, it's your first time playing the game, or even your first time playing a champion, because so many of the skills in a genre like this could be innate. Like, first of all, in doing this, you played it for a pretty long amount of time, evidently, but also, I should check on Steam actually what exactly the amount of hours is, but also, it's a case where, you know, so, like your ability to aim, right? You could play Counter-Strike next to somebody for the first time and their aim's just going to be better or worse than yours. Like, that has nothing to do with the game itself. Like, sure, you can use recoil and stuff, but like learn the specific recoil. Some of these characters I honestly don't remember super well, I'll be honest. You know, some pretty cool aesthetics, a lot of cool abilities. Like, they definitely had a field day with, again, if you're going to copy a game, this is at least the right way to do it. It doesn't have like much of a sense of personality compared to Overwatch. Like, it seems a little bit template, like, oh, they're just trying to, you know, fill in certain boxes of characters, but still the way they look and the abilities they have is very fun. So yeah, rather than play Overwatch 2, if you were, you know, done with Overwatch after the first one, then you'd rather play something like this, where it's a little bit different, but it's still good, because Overwatch 2 did feel kind of uninspired a little bit. But for me, it was basically just like playing Overwatch 1 again, because obviously you couldn't really do that anymore, which is a really dumb decision. Why they wouldn't keep that around. It's almost a way to mitigate some criticism. Like, if they don't like certain things they're doing in the sequel, you'd go back and play the original and say, oh, look how much better this did it. But now you don't have a choice. Ying I liked. You always saw her a lot on the title screen with one of those skins. They kind of use those too much. Like, where they... I'm almost just stalling, but we'll play at least the 2-game requirement that we always do. And so we could have a good streak going into next time. This guy was pretty cool. I mean, most of the characters I liked. The only ones I really dislike are usually... And this guy was a little bit different than I thought he was. He's kind of like Wrecking Ball, but you can't move around freely outside of rolling. So you only have the roll. So that's kind of a unique way to, you know, sort of copy something, but make it a little bit different. You know, we saw him so much, too, when I first started playing, like, almost every game. And then now we haven't seen him in a long time. It feels like, at least. Yeah, most of these didn't last so long. Buck I always made fun of, because he, whether I would play, you know, the one time I played him or anybody else has played him, he always seems to just die so quickly. He has, like, I don't know what it is. He even has a heal ability, but he feels either so squishy or he's just like a high priority target. This was one of the first ones I played. Vora I liked a lot, but it just didn't last that long. We lost to the Fernando Clown guy in one of those, whatever, like, it was an epic comeback where we almost came back from being down like 100 points or 200 and like the get to 400 thing, but then we still lost. This guy was okay. Tyra Banks. These are sometimes the more boring ones, like Tyra and Victor. Like, they're not necessarily bad and they do good amounts of damage or whatever, but they're kind of just boring. They just feel like run and gun traditional type of you know, typical shooter characters. There's nothing memorable about them. Even Ashe is kind of boring. I always compare her to the one chick in Overwatch. I can't remember her name now. Whatever. They both have like that unsatisfying beam type of weapon. What the hell is her name? I can't remember. Sky. Sati. I thought she was like the last. Maybe just the last on the flank page or something. Or no, she's a damage character. Terminus is kind of very annoying to play against sometimes. Ruckus I liked. The tree was okay. But yeah, the healers who just have like passive abilities like Lucio type thing that's just kind of boring. Eevee I liked. Like so many of these characters I liked, but that doesn't mean I lasted too long with them. So that shows my objectivity. It was a bad... It's kind of good that they gave you this guy for free too. Otherwise that could have become a problem too. Just like... It's not even showing me my tokens. I thought I had one left just in case some new character would have come out. But now it just kind of stripped it away because maybe it'll only show up if you go here. Oh yeah, I see. I still do have one left, but there's no point. So how many did I actually unlock myself? I guess it doesn't matter. Ownership then name, because yeah, in order to unlock the ranked mode you have to have like 18, which there's no way I would have even close to that because again we've just been milking the free one so much. So Imani insert Pokimane. I haven't been this excited for an Iman since Pokimane. And then Fernando's the clown. Like let's come up with a nickname or some joke on their names for each of these, or even just the nickname like, okay, this is the Genji guy. Just whatever I would have called them, it triggered people. Corvus from fucking Anthem. I haven't been this excited for a Corvus since Tassin's boss or whatever. And fucking Anthem, obscure reference. Betty Lavamba's good. Hassan, more like Hassan from fucking... Am I gonna get banned for his political views as I play as him if he has some kind of voice lines? Lex was kind of good because he had the auto shoot thing that kind of like auto aims for you, which is such a clown thing, but that would make him one of my favorite characters right there. Just because my aim is so shit, that obviously makes up for it. Rey, haven't been this excited for Rey since the new Star Wars movie about to come out. Or haven't been this nervous for a Rey, I guess you could say. Torvald. What else? What else? This guy was kind of fun, I think. A lot of these I played very early on in the run. I almost would like want to think back, like which order exactly did I play all these in? Basically, whatever order they were out in, like, or whatever the order they were free in. Which sometimes the same. This guy's like a Ratchet and Clank wannabe dude. This guy's obviously the Wrecking Ball wannabe. This guy's like, I can't remember even the name of some of these Overwatch characters. Like obviously this dude is the one guy whose name I can't remember. There's a guy who's like the same dwarf aesthetic in Overwatch. IO, some kind of joke about some sus thing. Atlas is fine. Caspian. This guy looks like a Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy type of character or something. Buck is just a clown who gets fucked every time. Drogoz, Vora is very cool aesthetically. And Roxas is supposed to be kind of like Reaper, I guess. Victor is just kind of boring. Saris, Tyra Banks. It's Tyra Banks, fool. Ashe. I can't remember any of these characters' names actually from Overwatch. Sky. Haven't been this excited for Sky since Emma and Lana Sky since Rise from the Ashes, Phoenix Wright. Terminus, more like Terminal because I died with him probably in the first game. He maybe is one of the more advanced tank type characters because for some reason whenever I go up against him, people do really well with him and he's really annoying, but because you kind of like let yourself get killed and then you revive or whatever. Grover's okay. Some kind of fucking Sesame Street meme, or maybe like Grover Cleveland, I don't know. Vanessa, Rom, maybe is just a total fucking clown and I hate her. Strix, Kasumi, it's not even like, oh, you're always losing to her, everybody plays as her, she's just annoying. Eevee is fine. Lilith, yeah, they copied Diablo 4 right there. Okay, so basically we have these two left to play as. Let's actually look at their abilities, both tanks. Kind of fitting that it should end this way because I supposedly like tanks the most. Stone Spear, Fire Burst of 3, Sharp Stone Project. Or maybe I should play one game as each regardless, even if I win this one. Just so that I can say, like, okay, the Gauntlet's done. And then that could just be a bonus thing. That might be a good idea, because I'll barely have time to even do more than that. So I shouldn't look at it in a negative sense, like, oh, I have to lose both. Right? I'll at least have peace of mind. I played every character, so the Gauntlet's a success. So whether I win or lose as this, I still win, because I get to play as both. Fire a burst of 3 sharp stone projectiles across the battlefield every 1.25 that each does 225 damage. Okay. Earthen Guard channel the realm strength, reducing damage taken to you and your deployables by, oh, you got like orbitals. We're playing the Bind of Isaac over here, and increasing your healing received for a brief period of time. Yeah, you get more healer vibes just from the way she looks, actually. Impasse deploys what is it called? Like fucking, I'm profiling a character based on their appearance. Profiling your role. Impasse deploy a 5,500 health stone wall from the ground to hinder enemies and protect allies. But it depends how you use it, I guess. You're assuming that it'll hinder enemies and help allies, but it could do the opposite in my hands, because it'll just be a wall. Like, it's probably doesn't do anything. It's just, depending on where you put it, is going to have the impact. Warder's Field, deploy an obelisk that channels nature's wrath in an area to slow and damage enemies. Okay. Seismic Crash, launch a powerful spear that pierces shields, stunning and dealing 550 damage to enemies caught in its impact. See, I hate these low damage values for an ult, though. It makes sense for a tank, but so even some of the damage in flank characters, it's like they do some kind of cool effect, like, oh, it'll stun them or it'll do something else. But I'd rather it just be like a raw damage value, like the one chick that does like 3,000 damage in one shot. So, like, at least you're going to be guaranteed to get a kill that way. You know, the one interesting design choice this game makes is to not really show the stats very clearly in the game. So maybe that cuts down on toxicity. Like, sure, you might make fun of somebody who you perceive as playing badly, but you can't actually see exactly how badly they're doing. And you kind of can feed in this game in a way that you can't really do as much in Overwatch, because, you know, there's actually a shop system. So that's one thing I actually don't like, is the shop. I don't feel like it's something I like in this genre, because it makes it too much about that, right? You just want it to be about the raw abilities, almost like an arcade game is how I propose these type of things, is that you just go in and you use the base abilities and it's just up to you. So I don't care about the talents, I don't care about the shop, just go in with the raw thing. So it's the same way every time, and then it's just a matter of who does it better, you know, within those confines, instead of, oh, you only beat me because your shop system was better, you know, whatever build you made, or you only beat me because of your talents or something, your mastery level, to whatever extent that matters. So this is just a basic shot. This is reducing damage taken in your deployables and increasing your, oh, so those will also, oh, does that mean that those are the same ones that you're using for the projectile, or is that just something else? Across the battlefield, like, so you have X number of these stones and you either use them to attack or defend, or maybe I'm reading into it too much. Okay, deploy the wall and deploy an obelisk. See, like, even this you could look at, you have like 2 tank abilities, because one of them, I don't count the ult, but you know, these 2 are both like shields. This reduces your damage taken, and this can also be like a shield that blocks stuff. So the same way that healers often don't have 2 healing abilities, maybe the tanks also don't have 2 abilities that are really defensive in nature. And of course, the strategy that you should often use with these games, especially when you don't know what you're doing, is just use every ability all the time whenever it's up, just because you can. Like, that's all you would have to do. And please don't steal one on this momentous day. What do we got? Yeah, I think I'll do that. We'll win this game and we'll keep the streak potentially alive, but then at least I could feel more like I can do it at my leisure, where the series is actually over just by virtue of having played as every character. So I definitely want to win both of these, so at least we have something to come back to with it. So it will be the finale, I guess, in that sense, but I'll still do it. You know, whatever, to try to finish these 2. Imagine if I got this would be like the biggest clutch ever. If I went on like a 20-game win streak with one of these 2, or both, just to show, like, okay, now that it's actually such high stakes and it's almost over, now I'll do it. And you can tell whether it, you know, somebody is playing something for the first time based on that, unless I'm doing a Smurf account or something. So many of these matchups, you don't have a tank or some kind of role issue. Like, you know, you'll have 5 DPS or 5 flanks or something stupid. Or 2 tanks but no healers. Why did the music just like go away there? We got Buck, who you should be able to clown. Ratchet and Clank guy. You got 2 tanks there. It is kind of fun, some of the matchups it leads to, right? You'll have 5 tanks versus 5 DPS or just some crazy thing. 5 healers versus 5 flanks. But, you know, it sometimes you can use that as an excuse, just the fact that, you're like, why do I have the 5th anniversary celebration thing there? I didn't choose to put that on. Reduce the damage taken by 10%. See, at that point, it almost doesn't matter because increase your maximum health. You know, I don't have any options because I'm still mastery level 1. So I'm certainly not using any of those elements as an excuse because it doesn't matter. Like I said, I look at it in a more raw sense, just in terms of the mechanics. Whether I win or lose or have done well or badly, it shouldn't come down to some sort of stupid, oh, you should have bought better items in the shop. Like, that is true that that would help you, and that might actually be a very important factor, but it doesn't matter. Like, I still don't care. You should just be able to do it with the base abilities and everything else. Unless I felt like, oh, I played absolutely perfectly all the time, which is, of course, not the case. But if then I would say, okay, I'm only losing because of the not building it optimally with the shop or something. This has definitely been the most common game mode, or not even always this one, but the payload kind of shit too. That's fine. I don't know exactly what's happening with some of these things, but like, see what I'm just standing out in the open trying to tank for stuff, but they're not actually able to do anything. Maybe I stand too much out in the open, but you kind of have to rush the point anyway. Come on, don't let me lose this one. Okay, not a big deal. We can still equalize for that. That's maybe not the greatest positioning for it, but it doesn't matter. Just like, gotta know where that's even going exactly. Gotta keep doing that whenever it's up. You gotta put this thing down. You gotta do it like behind somebody to the extent that you are able to trap them. Feel like, I don't know, man. It's so weird. Hey Gerardo, how's it going? I feel like I'm doing everything that you're supposed to do. Like standing out in the open and being the actual focal point. These abilities are a little hard to figure out visually though, like what the right click is not the right click, the F is exactly doing. I don't know, dude. Come on. Like, that should have at least done something. I don't fucking know. Has been following for 1 year, 8 months, and 16 days. Yeah, so that is insane. How much is that compared to how long I've been back streaming? I guess it's been 2 years and like a month. End of 2021. No, like 2 years and a couple months. So almost the whole time. And of course, of all things, because of chess, which I always made fun of myself even doing. Who would want to watch me play chess at this garbage level? Okay, we can still do it, but I'm a little bit confused as to the situation here. You. But no, I was surprised that chess is so popular, period. Regardless of the level, it's usually not something I think of as being that sought after. I'm just going in, I'm trying to tank the point. I don't know. I feel like that's what you're supposed to do sometimes, is like dive in there and just deal with it, but I don't know. Gonna overcome a 3-0 deficit for the first time, because I don't think we've really seen that. Almost as hard to do it as in basketball in a playoff series. Okay, I'm not really using that ability particularly well, I'll admit. That guy's so close to dying, but he won't die, or somehow he did. Okay, we gotta put a thing down. I keep doing that in the wrong spot. I can... Fuck. We should be able to get it here, but we just have to... Come on, don't lose this one now, dude. Where is that thing going? I don't get it. Somebody use their ults, do something. Okay, he's dead. Come on, turn the tide. I'm not very good at using that. Why did it go away so fast either? This bug clown is outliving everybody else. Overtime. Come on, finish him off quick so you can actually just do this. Oh, whoops, I wasted that. Oh, come on, bro. How does that keep disintegrating so fast? I don't get it. Oh, is that actually gonna work? Like, to keep us out so that we actually lose? I don't know what's happening. How am I even staying alive that long? And how did we... That made no sense. You basically am here to train me. Holy shit. Somehow we almost made a comeback there, but I just couldn't understand it. Okay, use this here, so that'll stop them from going in. Like, that's a perfect positioning, because they are going to be kind of dead in their tracks. But how does it go down that fast? It has 5,500 health, apparently, supposedly. At least there, whoever was healing me or whatever was doing a good job, because... What is happening? Like, why did it spawn that little one there? Oh, come on. That always triggers me when they get like 1 HP and you can't finish them off. But the thing is, even if you let them go further, they're not going to win here because... Okay, I keep wasting that. I really don't get how the Q actually works somehow. Bot kills me for all my slander. Looks like Overwatch. Yeah, it basically is a very similar game to Overwatch, which is the #1 thing people say about it. But it is pretty good in its own way. Okay, can we just win like one fucking game? At least like that prevents them from running away, but I don't know. If I use my ult better there the one time, it might have been fine. We almost had the chance for the comeback when they were up 2-0 and then we were kind of fighting on the spot. So for that section, at least it felt like our healer was doing really good somehow. I must admit, I really don't know how to use that fucking Q though. Okay, kill Buck. He's an easy target. Look how he just drops, but nobody will actually have the presence of mind to do that. Stupid walls are so annoying, says the guy who has one himself, in terms of the... Okay. Whatever, so we get play our last hero, and... Fuck, man. But it felt like such a mismatch, no matter how badly I'm playing, which I do think I did play pretty badly. I guess it's still not over, but... Or in fact, you shouldn't even lose here, because... Or no, you can't lose by defending. You can only... Because you still get a point, but it doesn't finish the game. Okay, so she was kind of cool, I guess. Let's see who the last one is. This Nyx chick. Yeah, let's actually look at the stats so I can use it as an excuse that these people played so badly. Only 5,000 shielding. 45k, 36, 42. Like, I was actually the leader in damage, which shows you how bad everybody must be. But then again, they didn't do all that much either. How did I do that much? He's not really even the priority. I'm surprised the shielding. I definitely use that Q very shit though. Or you know what? I don't even know what their abilities are here. Realm Break. So this will determine whether the series actually ends here or whether at least I can come back for a win streak on this one character and only this one character. I mean, just a moral principle, we should be able to do it. Realm Breaker, punch in a 5-hit attack chain, doing 200 times 3. Oh, this is some mathematical equation shit type character. 5-hit chain, doing 200 3 times and 425 2 times. Resets to hit to the first hit on a miss or after 1.25 seconds. Okay, dude. In other words, just spam it and don't worry about any of that shit. Rift Slash. Fire a projectile that deals damage and leaves behind an abyssal rift. The rift slows enemies within 30 units and explodes after 2 seconds. Abyssal Fortress. Place a 4500 shield at the target location. The shield loses health the farther it's placed from you. I don't like these shields that you place down or like these walls. I'd rather have one that's just myself. Like I just put a shield on myself, like a Reinhardt or something like that. Royal Presence. Summon a poison aura that deals damage to enemies and stores damage you take, dealing it to you over time. Reactivate to summon chains that pull enemies towards you. I feel like we haven't seen this trick too much either. Chaos Nexus. Pull enemy. In fact, that last one too. Just as far as opposing teams. Pull enemies towards you before exploding and stunning. Hit enemies. What the hell does that mean? Pull enemies towards you before exploding. Oh, and stunning hit enemies. It doesn't give you a damage value though as far as what the explosion would do. Or maybe it doesn't do any damage at all and it just stuns them. So just punch with that. So this just makes everything do damage over time. And then this is your shield. And then this is your some sort of AoE crowd control type thing. The Q you have to put somewhere on the field. The shield you also have to put somewhere, which I don't like. Having to do that, right? I just want to be the shield myself. Actually, the last champion one way or the other, whether I win or not. We get Sky. We get the bird chick or the crossbow chick. Right, Cassie. We get another tank. Oh, how fitting that we get the same one we just played as last game. And then Io is going to be the healer. At least you can't complain about the matchup. But yeah, focus on healing the other tank. So I'm fucking useless anyway. Tyra Banks. They do have a healer too. So it's a fair matchup. Imani, who everybody's going to get triggered by every time she uses an ult. That's the most common thing you see people type in chat. Here comes the skill-based ult. Only with her though. Nobody else has a trigger like that. It's basically the same as Overwatch. More customizations, but yeah. But I mean, to whatever extent the characters could be different. Or they, you know, at least combine certain characters together and stuff like that. Why does she look so much bigger here? Nyx. That was like her Instagram pic or something that she cropped just perfectly on the front page. Or on the character select screen. But then when you get in here, it ends up being fucking completely different. The talents. Yeah, a lot of the mechanics I didn't want to use either. Like the shop, I especially don't like. Okay, so what do we have? Just the punch. The right click is going to be like the AoE that slows them down or something. The Q is the shield. And then the F is like the absorb damage and chain stuff in, apparently. Come on, we have to win this one. Just in an isolated sense. As a permadeath clutch player myself, there's no way that I'm going to lose this one. Just 100%. I'm not sure that I really like this character as much, but doesn't matter. Okay, just rely on the heals to do whatever you're going to do. It's always annoying at the beginning because I don't fully process what everything is doing. Fuck's sake. I don't process what everything's doing right away. You need like a little, you know, in between time to figure it out. Whatever, we have another tank so they can carry me. So you're punching from a distance, I guess. You're doing this to absorb some damage. That's actually kind of a fun animation, I guess. Yeah, fuck this. I'm not gonna end the series on a negative note here. We'll still win one somehow. This guy's annoying as shit though. The Q shield thing I have to figure out exactly how it's going to work, and I don't really get it. The item shop is how you counter, yeah, but you know, It's just not, it's not something I think of with this genre as being either necessary or something I really like. We put the shield down. Like, we started off pretty good somehow. As a team, at least. This much discrepancy isn't that big of a deal, but... Okay, that at least was good. You put the shield down like that, I guess it's not so bad. Just like put it right in front of you and just hope for the best. In fact, there's an interesting interplay between that and the... whatever. Between that and like the stone wall that maybe she's doing. Which I didn't use very well at all last time, but... I never like to hold shit down either. Like, even as much as a degenerate sprayer as I might be, I'll always sort of, like to tab it for whatever reason. Works better with, like, slower type of abilities, but... Okay, just... Or, you know, that's always the rule in this. You should just use every ability whenever it's up just to do it. Don't try to do it too perfectly. Or just always attack. Never stop auto-attacking and spamming your base shot because you'll hit stuff by accident. Like, there's no downside to shooting. Unless you have a character that has, like, a really slow reload or something. The shield, the closer you started to... Yeah, the stronger it is, too. Go in a little bit and then do it, I guess. Oh, here we go. Skill-based ult time. Skill-based ult. But look at that. I still split the damage up between that. Look at that. We just ragdolled both tanks with that shit. Okay, come on. We can do this. Just go Q here. Do this. Terminus is very annoying, I will say. Sometimes I think I'll toggle it off. Like, I'll just do it again. Like, I'm button mashing it and then... Okay, do the Q again. Go here. Don't stand in the lava. Fuck. Always do that F right before you're about to die, I guess. Like, we're staying alive for a decent amount of time. This is actually super close, back and forth. Are you using auto... Yeah. Or at least it should be. This whole playthrough, I would hope so. I think it usually says it's doing that, but... I don't know how much farther out I can really put it than that. Yeah, you won't actually be able to kill that guy ever, though, because of the simple fact that he just comes back. Fuck. Look how on the nose this game is. Holy shit. We're always, like, at exactly the same time. Or the same score. Come on, let's get a little lead, and we also have the ability to do the ult here, I guess. Which maybe it was too far away. Okay. So much shit going on. Oh, thanks for the follow. Yeah, where does it normally say that? Like, something was auto-purchased for you. Or yeah, I could build that as a hard mode series too. It's not just a permanent gauntlet, but it's a hard mode in the sense that it's a no-shop run. This Terminus guy is always so annoying, I swear. Fuck. Yeah, I'm not doing that, though. I haven't done it the whole run. I'm not going to start now. Okay, here we go. We're in a good spot. But no, I'm pretty sure it has been auto-purchasing. Whatever, he's not important. Do this shit. We're right on top of it. Oh, no. Like, what am I supposed to do there? Like, just run away or... Fuck. Auto buy is better than nothing, but it doesn't always pick the... Oh, I'm sure it doesn't pick anything good at all. I know. Imagine doing that like in League of Legends or something, auto buying shit with how much people metagame everything. See, what happened? Did I undo the shield? Come on, we're staying in the... Wow, look at that, dude. Tyra Banks is just tearing through us. That's the only reference for the name Tyra I can ever think of. Just the Penny Hardaway commercial where it's like a little... I don't even know the fucking whole thing of it. I put that one a little bit too far out, I guess. Standing in the fire too much, but it's such a position that I can't do much about it. Fuck. I should have done the F. Oh, we got to get a skill-based ult in here and just run away with it. This is at least like an even matchup where if you lose, it clearly should be my fault, because I should have been able to make that amount of difference. Fuck. I don't know like what next to do there. Like either you just stay there and tank it like you're supposed to do as a tank, or you just run away, which doesn't seem to make sense. So now we go in there, we can use the ult. Good, but he always comes back, which is annoying. Yeah, now we've lost the lead. Come on, come on. Don't go AFK and Nara. Why we always see that somebody goes AFK. Fuck. We were doing fine. Like, it's not even a bad position that we're in. Come on, it's fine. It's fine. 329, 325. Just keep them out of there. That's a great position for the stone wall. Much better than mine last game. We have the shield right on our ass. Come on, 340. Just hold it down. Hold it down. Okay, we tank that shit. There's no real nuance to F. It's just like you're going to take the same amount of damage, but you may as well just spread it out so you have a better chance that way. See, like now I'm going to die, and I know I'm going to die, but you just deal with it, I guess. Or the Sonara is coming in clutch with the shields. Skill-based ult again. It's maybe okay because we're almost about to win. So you should be able to get that difference of 10. Come on, there's no way, dude. If you lose now... Holy shit. Come on, it's 12. It's the difference of 12. Yeah, you'll get it even just sort of incidentally, even if you're overall losing. Yeah, fuck. Wait, so at least we end on a good note, and then I can always come back and do a streak with her. So we satisfy the condition of playing 2 games, which is really a high standard in every episode, which wasn't even one that I started for. The Fox on point will heal you. Who did I play in Overwatch? Pretty much everybody too, but no, I liked Bastion because I wouldn't even play him the way that... I didn't like him because of the turret ability. I liked him because of the heal. Or like d.va, I liked a lot. Probably d.va's my favorite, but yeah, everybody would get mad at Bastion's mere existence. But no, I would never even play it like that, where I'd go on the payload and use a turret. I would do it more like solo run and gun. Yeah, so we do complete the thing of playing as every character. Again, mainly buffered by the fact that... see, we play one game and we already leapfrog everybody else. But what does that mean? Like, just the fact that I won? So that means anybody who's won mastery level, that means how many wins they have. Or no, not even. They didn't even win the one game that they played because they would be at least 2 then. Or it's based on performance, or I don't even know. But yeah, we would at least have that to return to. And clearly that's going to be like a 20-game win streak, I'm sure. But yeah, we did complete it basically. So now it's just bonus time. So I don't know what could be next in this Wednesday slot. I might even do Season of Discovery. Wow, just because I've had such a hard time finding space for that. But I wanted to do like another multiplayer game like this, whether it be Smite or League or something like that. I can't really decide exactly what. I think it depends on the mode you play. Oh yeah, that could be true too. Yeah, deathmatch I didn't really like too much, and it's sort of unfair to certain roles because in deathmatch a tank or something isn't going to be that impactful because everybody's just going to kind of roam around and go Rambo style. We saw some of these maybe a little bit too much, and there was one prognostication that I had that's like it's very unfair, like where you're pushing the payload, right? you get like 6 minutes or something if you're the first one to push it, and then if you fail to stop them, then you only get like 2 minutes or 4 minutes or something. You get like a time handicap where you get less time to do the exact same thing they just did. Now people will defend that and say, oh well, just don't let them get it to 100%, but the assumption would be you're both so bad that you can't stop either one. So what that means is it is unfair, because okay, everybody sucks, so whoever goes first is going to be guaranteed to get to 100%, and then the second one won't be able to because they don't have as much time. So if the second team went first, they would have also gotten to 100% just because they had extra time to do it. So it's almost kind of stupid, but obviously the point is you are getting an advantage for going first, because the other team wouldn't have to worry about that. You know, you could fuck up and let them get to 100%, but it wouldn't matter, because I don't know, like you're getting punished for that in a way that you shouldn't be. It should just be the same amount of time, but then it's just if you can't get there in the same amount of time, then you lose because they've already gotten there. Abyssal Breach. Enemies that pass through Abyssal Fortress are revealed and take 10% additional weapon damage to you and your acquisition. Yeah, see, I never really worried about all the talents and stuff. Event Pass. It is weird that in all this time playing, though, they haven't added another character. They'll probably do it next time. That would be so fitting that we could end off by not only playing Nyx, but we could play... you know, whatever, if they make a new champion, then I have a champion token for that too. And it's kind of cool that they put Omen as free at one point, because that's the only way I would have been able to play him. Obviously, I didn't spend anything on him. Off tanks do well, don't underestimate tanks. Depends on the map. Yeah, it just seems less suited for role queues on that, in like a deathmatch mode. Tanks like Ash will boob you. There's also catch-up mechanics if you're behind. They are doing Echo champions for the new champions. Yeah, that is just kind of weird. I'm trying to think when I started this. It must have been like March or May of last year. So you saw Omen came out like almost immediately when I started. Almost like a bad omen for the series to show that I wouldn't do particularly well. So based on these mastery levels, though, that shows you that none of these streaks were particularly impressive. Or that should have been almost a win condition too. You have to get like one character to max mastery level, meaning you would have to do it in one streak of not losing games. Okay, so that'll officially be the end, and then I might just do like a bonus episode to finish off Nyx. That would be my only option, unless they do come up with another one. Okay, see you tomorrow.